John Bolton, one of the king fools of the right-wing movement, one of the biggest warmongers, and he's going to go on the same talking points here about how we got to have war one way or another. Come on, let's keep it real. So it doesn't really matter if Ahmadinejad wins or not. We've got to have the war. Let's watch. On Fox News, of course.
Out of Tehran, Iran right now, the turnout raising an important question. If Ahmadinejad loses this race, what happens with the nuclear program? What happens with U.S. relations with the rogue regime? Former ambassador to the UN is John Bolton. Sir, good morning to you. Thank you for coming back. What happens if he loses? Does it change much for us?
Well, it doesn't change the fundamental direction of Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile programs or its support for terrorism, because those are controlled by the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who's the supreme jurist under Iran's system. The president is not the highest official in their government. There could well be changes inside Iran. I think that's what a lot of this campaign debate has been about. But on the critical elements of foreign and security policy, Khamenei and the Revolutionary Guards will remain very firmly in control.
So the nuclear program goes forward regardless of the outcome, is what you're saying?
Right, and let's not forget that the leading so-called reformist candidate, Mr. Mousavi, was prime minister of Iran for 8 years during the war with Iraq under the Ayatollah Khomeini, the author of the 1979 Islamic Revolution. So calling him a moderate is only by degrees within the strange context of Iranian politics.
Well, so just nail this down, then. I mean, it doesn't matter who wins, then, based on what you're telling us.
In terms of foreign policy, you know, people like to joke this dispute between moderates and hardliners when it comes to the nuclear issue is whether you have Ahmadinejad, who tells people that he's proceeding with the nuclear program and plans to wipe Israel off the map, or whether you have a moderate who proceeds with the nuclear program but is smart enough to keep his mouth shut.
I see the distinction. Okay.
No, you don't, you clown. You know how I get mad at these TV guys? I got to calm down. You know why? I came in with the assumption, with a very, very wrong assumption a long time ago, that they would know something about the news that they're covering. And that's what gets me so angry every time they don't know a goddamn thing. Bill Hemmer, when he worked on CNN, would do whatever his bosses told him at CNN because he's a paid actor, okay? And now he goes to Fox News, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, I see what you're saying, Mr. Bolton, that's right. Whoever wins is totally irrelevant. If we have a moderate, we should be warlike anyway. Right? It's just a trick for them to build their nuclear program anyway, even if they claim the opposite. Oh, I see what you're saying, Mr. Bolton, because I get paid to say what's on this prompter, because I'm a fucking moron. Sorry. Bill Hemmer, what a loser actor. I mean, these guys are not reporters. They're not anchors. Okay, you think Bill Hemmer knows anything about the news? You think he's got anything up there? He's like, let me read the script. Okay, I'm a news person. That's what this script says. And the teleprompter. And then they make fun of Obama for reading off the prompter. Please, please. So now I have to adjust my expectations. As you can tell, I got more angry at Bill Hemmer in there than I did at John Bolton. Because I know what I get with John Bolton. He's the king of the clowns. He's the walrus clown, right? And he wants to start war no matter what, right? But with Bill Hemmer, like, I was hoping that, against hope, that he would say, hey, wait a minute, John, weren't you the same guy that came on our program only 1,000,000 times before and said, it's so relevant that Ahmadinejad is in charge and that he controls all the decisions? Now you're telling me it's totally irrelevant that Ahmadinejad might or might not be in charge? I thought you had built up this boogeyman and he was the most terrible guy on earth. Now you're telling me he's irrelevant? Of course, Bill Hemmer doesn't say that. One, because he's not paid to say that. Number two, he's not bright enough to even understand that. So I will adjust my expectations. Now I get, after all of this evidence, that these people on TV, of course, are not reporters or journalists. They play one on TV. They're paid actors and models. And Bill Hemmer's a perfect example. He looks exactly like a Ken doll, and he doesn't have a thing in his head. So, okay, I'll say, all right, well, that actor was given that script. What could he do? And he played that role well, I guess, of being the moron on TV. Nicely done, Bill. You nailed it. So, all right, now, and the thing is, look, now I'm getting beyond Bill Hemmer for a second. I've talked to so many people on television, and I've seen it so many times. these guys are not making this. I'm not talking about the anchors. I'm not talking about the talk show hosts. So don't get the wrong idea. I'm talking about the reporters, okay? And some of the anchors. I don't mean the primetime guys. I just don't believe the hype. Just because it says news on it doesn't mean it's news, okay? It means it is the TV version of news. It is the acting version of news. It is what the fraud of the media tells you is news. And I don't put fraud in, I guess, that negative light there. They're paid to create an illusion on television. And they are creating the illusion of news. So just understand what you're getting.